welcome to the Geriatric Millennials with Jayme and
Beth.
We're two youngish, oldish ladies talking about, what are we talking about, Beth?
We're talking about stuff we're into right now.
Oh, yeah.
Things that we're excited to share. We've done this before where we like to impart our viewing habits and books we're reading and different things, just giving some recommendations to our friends out there.
Yes. Things that we're into. We only recommend good stuff.
Well, that's debatable, but
in my opinion, mine are good.
I feel like mine are okay-ish.
Well, then why are you into it?
Just because, okay, there's lots of things you can be into that are not good. You know what I mean? Like trashy TV shows. They're not necessarily good, but you love them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's not an Oscar-worthy movie, but I love,
okay, yeah, I
stuff.
get that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so I have been obsessed with Vanderpump Rules. I brought this up a little while ago because it was like a madhouse because there was a huge cheating scandal and then just all kinds of stuff, and people were just jumping on the Vanderpump Rules bandwagon.
I am completely out of the loop. I don't know what you're talking about.
Perfect. I'm going to explain it as best I can. But I've been watching Vanderpump Rules since episode 1, day 1.
Which was?
10 years ago. So this is a show that's an offshoot of the Real Housewives brand on Bravo, which I doubt you've watched.
Nope.
But it is a cultural like touchstone.
Okay.
In American TV culture, reality TV style. Anyway, so the whole premises of this show is that there's a woman named Lisa Vanderpump on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she owns a bunch of restaurants in West Los Angeles, West Hollywood.
Okay.
And so, or not West Hollywood. No. Yeah. She owns a bunch of...
Somewhere in Hollywood.
No, she owns it's very specific though. So she owns all these restaurants in West Hollywood. So it's this like young, hip area, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not in LA, obviously. So she has a restaurant called Sir. She had one called Villa Blanca, but it closed. And then she had one called Pump, which I think that one is closed now too. Anyway, Sir, it's called Sexy Unique Restaurant. And she always says, this is the restaurant you bring your mistress because it's like so sexy. And she had all of these young, hot LA kids working there and they were all friends. And so it was just like such a tumultuous friend group. It was like intense. Like people were cheating on each other and like.
Okay, so it's about these people that work at this restaurant?
Yeah, these servers and how they're living in LA and trying to make it because all of them want to be actors and singers and bigger, whatever. And so one of the key players, this girl named Sheena Shea, originally Sheena Marie, she was in a cheating scandal with this famous celebrity who ended up marrying Leanne Rimes. It was a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
Anyway, so it's just like, there's been like, I think 9 seasons of this now.
Is it a real restaurant with real people working there?
Yeah, you could go there and eat there.
And you could have these people serve your...
Not these ones anymore, like when they were younger, yes, but now they've become reality stars, so they don't work there, but they own like joint restaurants now with this woman and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, it's just addictive. I will put some of my favorite like TikToks up about them.
Okay.
But it is like something, I just don't have this kind of drama in my life, right? So it's just like, the biggest drama right now is there's a long-term couple. The gentleman cheated on the girl in a 7-month love affair with one of her best friends.
Oh,
so it's just horrible, but it is juicy and they're all like young and like fun. And by young, I mean their 30s.
Have they been on this show that whole time? And like, did you as a viewer know this was going on?
No. And so it broke and then it just broke the universe. And so everybody was talking about TikTok. And then you had all of these people that were kind of jumping on the bandwagon of like, oh my gosh, Vanderpump Rules and getting all into it. It's like, no. You haven't been here since the beginning. I don't want to hear your opinion at this point. But I love it. So it's one of my favorite TV shows. If you haven't watched it before, you don't even have to watch the episodes, like the full seasons. You can watch the reunions because they play clips of the whole season. And there's all this fighting and it's amazing. And I love it so much.
Okay.
So yeah, Vanderpump Rules.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's one of my TV shows that I've been obsessed with for a long time, but really recently.
Interesting.
Yeah. Jamie's like, I will never watch that trash, Beth.
Well, it's something I may watch, but I don't really watch anything. We know this.
And you're not into that life.
I don't watch anything anymore.
Yeah. It's okay.
But I will say that I recently took a trip with many hours on a plane. Mm-hmm. So then I did watch some stuff.
What did you watch?
I watched Emily in Paris.
Okay.
And I think I watched 2 seasons.
Wow.
I can't remember
There's
if I
2
watched the
seasons
second
out,
season.
yeah. But wow.
Maybe I only watched the first season. And I don't know if I don't think I watched the second season, but I did watch the entire first season.
Wow. On planes.
Yep.
Nice.
And then I also watched Firefly Lane.
Okay.
And that one was based on a book that I read a long time ago that I really liked. It's basically the story of beaches.
Oh, okay.
The book is, but Firefly Lane, the show.
Wait, Beaches, the movie with Bette Midler.
Yes.
Okay, just so that
it's
we're
a similar
tracking.
storyline.
Okay.
But it feels like the show has, obviously drawn it out a lot further. And so I keep waiting for the rest of the story, to actually happen. But I enjoyed it. I mean, it's what I watched.
Okay, I love that for you. Okay, I watched one of the best Korean dramas. Well, it's one of the best series I've watched, but it's a Korean drama. It's called The Glory. Oh, my revenge story. It was so good.
Really?
It's about this girl who was like ruthlessly bullied as a high school student by these like 4 rich, privileged kids. Terrorized her. I mean, that's awful, horrible, trigger warning, all of that. But homegirl plots and she does like a 10-year, 15-year revenge story on the plot. And it is so good. And the acting is superb. The fashion is great. The like story is
I feel like
good.
I would watch that.
It is like mesmerizing. And what I like about it is I'm not fluent in Korean. And so I have to read the subtitles, which I love because then I have to put my phone down and I just have to focus and I get so into the story. So it's just like it's surrounding me.
It's not just a background show.
Exactly.
For you.
You're like in it. And it was so good. Had a great, like everything was good. I don't want to give any spoilers away because it just came out recently. So like a part 1 came out, I think, towards the end of last year. And then part 2 came out in March of this year. And it is delicious. It's so good. So I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have one that I don't know if I'm into, but I want to watch.
Oh,
what is it? I'm going to say it. Daisy Jones and the Six, because I read the book.
Okay.
And I enjoyed the book. And so I always like to see whatever movie or show that gets made based on the book that I have read. So that's one that I want to check out, but I haven't yet. So
I'm not surprised. Well, and I just wrapped up. So just like a month ago, The Last of Us ended. Did you? So Last of Us.
Are you asking me if I watched this?
No, I'm not. I
almost.
know you did.
You almost asked me.
But it was based on a video game that's super popular. I remember I wanted to play the video game, but I was like, I'm not coordinated enough to do this type of video game. And I know I'm going to get scared because there's like a zombie-like element in there. But I just finished watching the series and it was so good. I love post-apocalyptic films. They're my favorite in series and whatnot. So it was really good and it was fun to watch. And the girl that was in it, Bella something. I'm so bad with names now. I tell you, my capacity for like holding celebrities' names in my brain is not there anymore.
It shrunk?
No, I can be like, I know who the person is, but it's just like, oh, that person.
Yeah.
That happened to me yesterday at work. I was looking at somebody. I've known this person for like at least 4 years, and I've talked to her several times. I've been in multiple meetings with her, and I was looking at her, couldn't remember her name, like for anything, and I was just like,
what's happening?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, The Last of Us was really good too. So.
Are you taking fish oil? No. That's what you told me to do.
I know, but I don't follow my own advice.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to move on away from TV.
Yes.
Because that's the end of my list.
Yes.
I'm going to move on to books.
Okay.
And I read a book recently that I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually a book club selection for my book club, and we have not discussed it yet, and I cannot wait to discuss. It is called The Vanishing Half.
What's that about?
Oh.
With spoiler alerts.
Spoiler alerts, sort of. It is about African-American twin girls, and they're very, very light-skinned, and it's about their life, and one of them chooses to live her life as if she's white.
So passing, got it.
So she leaves her family and starts a completely new life and totally cuts everyone off and has no more contact with them whatsoever because it's like a secret in her life, in her world. And it's just their stories, these twins, and they're different. And so they each have a daughter. And so the one, her partner is a very, very dark black man. And so their daughter is really, really dark. And then the twin who passes as white, she has a white husband and their daughter's like blonde hair, blue eyed. And then their daughters, somehow their paths cross. And then it's just this whole story and this kind of drama, but it's fascinating and interesting. And I can't wait to talk about it and kind of explore like some of those ideas and concepts. Because it was a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It was a lot.
I legit try to avoid books like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, that's too close to home.
Yeah, I bet it is. And but I would be very curious to hear your perspective on it and to know what you think of the book if you ever decide to actually read it.
But I'm sure it's wonderful.
It's actually really good.
Yeah, I'm sure
it was really good. So anyway,
I've been on a book kick right now that's like thrillers, like female driven thrillers. And so I've been listening to them as I work. So I just got through The Upstairs Wife, which is a thriller, The Perfect Marriage, which another thriller, and The Killers of a Certain Age, which Killers of a Certain Age is about these women that are in their 60s and they've been like secret assassins their whole lives and now they're retired.
How does anybody even become an assassin?
They get recruited.
How?
You have to be skilled at things. I don't know. They get recruited in different ways. But
is that a real thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs, but yeah. I mean, similar to how like the CIA and the FBI recruit people, you know, you get on different people's radars for different reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was actually pretty good. And then I really liked The Upstairs Wife. It was an interesting tale about, you know, this woman that goes missing and kind of...
She held captive upstairs.
I can't confirm or deny anything, but the title kind of gives it away.
It kind of does.
But it was good. And they're not like, there's the kind of books that you can listen to and just like, you know, not just a couple days, 3 days or something.
Okay, yeah.
But just kind of like, oh, okay. So listen to
thrillers.
Except The Perfect Marriage, they had a lot of like, not super spicy scenes, but spicy scenes. And I'm at work like typing away. And then all of a sudden it was like, and then, you know, throbbing things. And,
wow.
But like very descriptive. And I was like, I don't think I'm allowed to listen to this at work.
Probably not.
Nobody knew.
Okay.
No, I mean,
I was like,
I
are you wearing
headphones? Blast? Yeah.
Headphones or something?
I just had it like on my speakers, just blaring to everyone.
Oh my gosh. The other day I was listening to an audiobook and I usually have my headphones in, earpods. What am I trying to say?
Headphones.
Yeah. But I didn't. And one of my kids walks up and and it wasn't too spicy, but it was like a little spicy. And I was like, oh my gosh, where's I gotta turn that off? So anyway,
there's like, I haven't read too many spicy books, but like I've been on spicy TikTok now for a minute, like spicy book talk and people talking about the spiciness level and stuff. And I'm just like, should I read a spicy book? And I'm like, I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to tell you about that.
Maybe we should start a spicy book club, you and I.
Thank you. But I did read the erotic stories of Punjabi widows.
Yes, that was good.
There's some spice in there. Did you read that?
Yeah, it was really good.
I
read it because I was going to go to your book club and then
you
I
never
didn't come to the book club. I just read the book.
Did.
I know.
Speaking of books, I just finished another book that I really liked. It was called The Marriage Portrait.
Okay.
And it was set in Italy in the 1500s. And it's about a duchess.
Oh.
And the drama. I mean, I'm so glad that I don't live in the 1500s.
Mm-hmm.
It was terrible for women. Absolutely terrible for women. And I'm just really thankful that I don't have to deal with those kinds of things.
I'm pretty sure any era other than the one we're kind of in
was terrible for women.
I mean, not that it's like great, but at least it's not like horrifically bad.
Right. True.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. This is my final book one.
Okay.
And it's a classic, in my opinion.
Bridget Jones?
I don't know if it's considered a classic, but Anne of Green Gables.
You finally read it.
I'm in the middle of reading it right now with my daughter. And I love it so much. The only thing that I'm not loving is how much Anne hates her red hair and my daughter has red hair.
Oh.
And so I think that's a little bit of a confusing message for her because she's like, what? Because in the book, I mean, she absolutely detests and hates her hair so much. But my daughter has always been told how beautiful her hair is and all of that. And so that's the one thing that I feel more sensitive about reading it with her, because she's
you don't want her to take it on.
She's got very red hair. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, but it's such a great story.
I remember watching it on PBS growing up, the series, and loving it.
I know. It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. So I love movies. I watch the same movies over and over again in the background. And I just watched a new one called Alice, Darling, starring Andrew Kendrick, about this woman who's in an abusive relationship, which, again, trigger warning. But I love those types of movies, like of perseverance and coming through. I think that those relationships are so fascinating to me. I don't know why, but they are. So the thing I liked about this movie is that it wasn't abuse like Sleeping with the Enemy, where the guy's like hitting the girl and being like super physically abusive. He was very emotionally abusive and very like the kind that like separates you from your friends. And I think that was such a good portrayal, because I think that people can get into abusive situations and not recognize it as abuse because they don't have a black eye. And it's it's still just as abusive. But it's about the story about this girl, and she has two great friends. They've been friends since childhood, and she's been distanced because of this gentleman. And he's a little older, and just, there's a power dynamic and all kinds of stuff.
I don't like him.
No, he's awful. And so it's one of the girls' birthdays, and she says, hey, I just want to go to my family cabin. And so the girls go for a girls' weekend, and she had to lie to him to even go. And there was so much tension between the girls, because it's like they knew something was off, and it's all on the back.
It was very uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable. And in the background of this is there's this young girl that had gone missing. And I think the lead girl is starting to see like, oh my gosh, this is how I'm going to end up. No, it was really good. It wasn't like trauma drama the whole time, but it was just thought provoking. And like, what do you do for a friend in those situations when you think they're in an abusive relationship that is not necessarily blatantly abusive, So it was just really good. And it really strong performances. And
well, I love Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
I would watch it just because she's in it.
Yeah. It was really nice. So,
okay.
Do you have any movies that you want to share? I have one more.
Oh, go for it. I actually don't. I don't think I watched a movie.
Oh, that's not shocking at all. Yeah. So the other one is called The Dinner, which this came out a while ago, and it stars the girl. Oh gosh, I can't remember her name. She was in the Queen's Gambit, the chess movie. Of course, you don't know.
I don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
Also,
she was in New Mutants.
Really funny that you don't remember her name.
I know. Her name's Anna something. I can't remember.
I just needed to point that out.
I know.
It's making me feel better.
I just can't anymore. Anyway, but it's this, there's this, they go to this dinner on this like island. It's not an island. It's like, it's an island next to a city. So it's like you take a little, like a tour, and the whole island is like a self-contained, like sustainable restaurant where it's like they grow the food there. They have the animals there. Everything's there. And so it has this world-renowned chef, and they invite all these different people. And it comes to find out that this is going to be the chef's last meal. And it goes from this like, this.
You mean for the guests?
For everyone. And it's a very like, it's like, oh my gosh, this is insane. But it has a really interesting commentary on, how we look at like the excess of like eating at those fine dining restaurants that, cost $1,500, and the accessibility to that, and who's allowed in and who's not, and why people are there. And it was really good.
So I think that you enjoy movies that have dark themes.
Yes, I do.
Because as you describe these things, I'm like, this sounds like something terrible that I don't want to watch. So I appreciate that we have different tastes. I mean, everyone does, but I'm like, oh my gosh, Beth.
We know you're the ray of sunshine and I'm the little storm cloud. Like, we know this.
I can't handle it. I don't want to watch a movie like that.
It was so good though. And just the like psychological stuff that was happening. And
well, I will read a book that has some dark elements. That's for sure. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like Harry Potter doesn't really count.
I just talked about some books that were like, whoa.
I just like to poke at you.
I know. Same. Okay.
Any podcasts that you're listening to?
Nothing really. Okay, so I shouldn't say nothing new. I have added a couple new ones, but I cannot vouch for them yet. I'm not yet. I haven't given them a fair go. And so I will let you know. I'll keep you updated. Okay. I still, like my standbys. And so
I banned Jayme from saying it.
I'm not going to say it.
But it starts with a P and ends with a cast.
And so, yeah. What about you?
So I started listening to one called Ghost Herd, which is actually really relevant to where we live because it's about this cattle fraud that happened in our town. And so, it's
who's doing this podcast? Is it somebody local?
It's NPR, not NPR, but something like that.
I can't.
I love public radio or something.
That's my other go-to.
PBS radio. I don't know, guys. I feel really bad, but it's a local journalist that's been here for years.
I think you need to get some fish oil.
Here's the problem. My lack of caring has really spilled over into this world.
I see.
Any other recommendations?
Well, I do. I have 3 more.
Oh, I'm excited.
Are you all done?
No, I have some that are in an other category.
Me too.
Okay, perfect.
So the next category that I'm going to choose is, what would this be called? Beauty.
Okay.
The beauty category.
Okay.
So and this is what we're into. I've been into like blue eyeshadow and eyeliner.
Okay,
what
Mimi.
is happening? Why? That's just what I've been to. I don't know if you noticed, I'm wearing it today, but I'm wearing kind of a blue shirt.
Well, you're that summer tone now.
I know, and that's what I'm exploring and experimenting with. So I'm into it.
I have to say, it's very subtle. We are not talking.
Oh, it is not
Mimi
subtle.
from the
Would you
Drew
just
Carey
come
show.
and look at my eye?
No, Jayme. Do you not remember Mimi that had like the giant?
I don't know who Mimi is.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how we can communicate with no cultural references that match.
Sorry.
She had like giant blue up to here, like up to eyebrow.
That is not me.
I know, but it's also not 80s like blue intensity mascara. Do you ever wear blue mascara?
No.
That could make your eyes pop, so you should try it.
I would like to.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay. I hate water. Officially, not like it.
This feels out of left field.
I know, you're welcome. So I have a hard time getting fluids in because I don't like water. I don't drink soda. I can drink carbonated, like sparkling water sometimes, but then sometimes I don't like them. So it's just been a real bug in my bonnet. I also don't love like full strength juices because it's just too sweet and then it's just too many calories. So why don't you
mix them? Mix some water with some juice.
Can I just tell my story, please?
Well, I'm trying to solve your problem.
No, I have solved it. Ocean Spray has come out with this diet juice that's like 5 calories a serving, which I didn't care about that. What I cared about is that it's like 2 steps above flavored water. You know what I mean? So it's like, it tastes like juice.
Does it have artificial sweetener in it?
I don't care.
Okay.
Give me all the chemicals.
That's
everywhere.
Terrible.
No, it's fine.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So just has a little sprinkle of something. I don't care what. But I take that. It's liquid. And so I can take that and I mix it like a third of that and 2/3 water or vice versa. I don't know.
Okay.
However I'm feeling spicy. And I've been drinking so many more fluids because it tastes better than like the little drop in new
Have you tried
Gelson.
Liquid IV?
It's too thick and it's too sugary.
You don't have to put the whole thing in.
Jayme, let me live my life, okay? I just want to buy my Ocean Spray,
go
5
for
calorie
it. I'm just
tropical
saying,
pineapple juice.
Options.
I've tried all the options, but I don't like I don't typically like Liquid IV. Like I don't like the flavors.
Okay.
I'm trying to be hydrated. Like I am actively pursuing.
Do you like Gatorade? You could get the Gatorade powder and then just put a little bit of powder.
I don't love Gatorade. I like Powerade sometimes, but my brain doesn't like it always. And I feel like it always makes my kidneys hurt, which is fake. But that's just what my body does.
It might not be fake. There's a lot of things in there.
Oh my gosh. I love too that you're like artificial sweeteners. No, Gatorade.
I know. Well, I'm just trying to help you get fluids.
I'm good though. So I found this thing and I really like it. So
okay, that's awesome.
And they have tons of flavors and it's like I can get some cranberry juice, but it's just not like, drinking 800 calories of just sugar water.
Yeah. Good.
So love
that's
it.
Awesome. I'm so glad because you started off saying that you hate water.
I do hate water. That is still a fact. Like there's times when I have to drink a pill and I'm angry because I'm drinking water to do it. So,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow.
What else you got?
Still in the category of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot fully endorse this yet.
Okay.
So it's still in the trial phase, but I gave in to the marketing because I'm so targeted.
Yeah.
And I continually kept seeing ads and all these influencers that I like were all using this product. And so I caved and I bought it and I'm trying it out. It's Olive and June nail polish, like a nail polish petty system. I got the whole system.
Okay.
I gave myself a pedicure. So far, so good with that. I did my manicure and was not happy at all. So I redid it today. So I don't know. if I love it.
What is it?
It's nail polish.
Okay, but you said it's a system.
I think that their marketing is really well done. So it is kind of a system because it came with like a nail buffer and like a cuticle pusher and nail clippers and like a whole thing. And then there's like a nail prep polish thing that you put on, and then
a base coat.
It's not a base coat. I think it just dries out your nail or something.
Okay.
So it's ready. And then you put on the nail polish, but then you have to do like 2 or 3 coats, and it takes like 5 to 10 minutes for each coat to dry, which I love my Color Street and I still will always want to use that. But like I said, I got sucked into this. And
you have very nice white nails today.
Thank you. And so then, so you do your coats of nail polish, and then you do your top coat. And then they have these things called dry drops that you drop on top, and it like makes it dry a lot faster. Mm-hmm. But you can't do that until the final, like after you put on the top coat. Mm-hmm. Blah, blah, blah. It's supposed to last long. Well, we shall see. The first time, like I said, the first manicure I gave myself, it didn't last. Like it was chipping and stuff. So I don't know if it's user error, but my nails were also a lot longer than they are today. So we'll see. But I mean, apparently they've got, all these great reviews, and all these influencers are influencing me to do this, to use this product. And so I'll update you. But I mean, I think I'm going to like it for my toes. I don't know if I'm going to love it for my fingernails.
Okay, that's fair.
But yeah.
Okay, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And now they sell it at Target. And so now every time I go to Target, I'm going to be like, oh, I want that color.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. They got you.
They did.
They got you. Okay. So my friend got me. So I have a friend that's a runner. Love her. And I was talking about like needing shoes because like Jayme and I walked around the block 2 times a couple of weeks ago. We were just chit-chatting, talking about life. And the next day I was hobbled. Like my heels hurt so bad.
Yeah, you were wearing some kind of flat, like
I was wearing Converse, like my Chucks. Like it's fine for
not for walking,
not for walking aggressively. And we weren't walking aggressively. We were just walking on concrete and for a long time. So it was just like
it was like 20 minutes. But yes,
it was a long time for these dogs. Okay, and so anyway, I could not believe how bad my heels hurt and my feet hurt. And I was telling this person, my friend that's a runner, and she's like, you need to go get fitted. So I went to like a runner's store to buy shoes, which I've never gone to before. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do it. So on Friday.
That's a process.
Okay, I didn't realize though. So I go in there. I went in there, it was the end of March. So I wasn't summer ready, right? Like, right. So I didn't have a pedicure done or anything. I just thought they were gonna, remember when you were a kid, you go to the shoe store, they took out that metal thing, you put your heel on it.
They say, oh, this is your size. Yes. That's what you were expecting.
And they would I thought, oh, maybe they'll watch me walk on something, they'll watch me walk away and they'll be like, oh, okay, you have a horrible gait, but, whatever. So the guy's like, I go in there and he's like, okay, take off your shoes and your socks and roll your thing up. And I'm wearing like, how you have certain socks that are a little bit fluffier on the inside. And so they just make
did you have a bunch of lint?
I had lint all in my toes. My pedicure was like half chipped off. My heels were dry.
Did you shave your legs?
I hadn't shaved my legs, but thankfully I have like basically no hair. Oh, and I was just like, but I was paler than a ghost on my legs. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. She's like, don't worry about it. I see feet all day. I'm like, great. So I had to get like a 3D foot scan.
Like reassuring you, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I saw the guy's feet next to me. I'm like, okay,
at least you don't have dudes' feet.
His were rough. Anyway, so I got my feet scanned and then I walked on.
What do you mean scanned?
They have a 3D scanner that scanned my feet. I stood on this thing and then I walked across this mat with sensors that told him how, like where my feet or where my weight is distributed on my feet when I walk. It was a whole
Sounds
thing.
Very high tech.
Very high tech. And so then he comes and he's showing me the things. And it was kind of annoying because they're like, okay, we asked that you put on a pair of our socks. We'll give them to you half off if you decide to buy them today with a pair of shoes. I'm like, I didn't ask, but I was just the whole time like, what if I didn't want to buy shoes today? And you made me put clean, brand new socks on that you guys own. Do you just wash them? Like what happens? Like, and then I was like, screw.
Did you ask?
I didn't ask that, but I was like, sir, how much are these socks? Are these $50 socks? I'm not paying $50 for socks. He's like, they are $16 socks and they'll be $8 half off. I'm like, okay, we'll give runner socks a try. He's like, oh, it's going to change everything. I was like, okay, calm down. Anyway, so we finished the fitting and he's like, okay, well, first of all, he's like trying to show me stuff. And I'm like,
you're like, I don't understand how to read. Well, no, that's how I'd be.
No. I understood it. I'm like reading ahead. I'm like, I don't need the spiel. Why does it say I'm a 7? When my whole life I've thought I was a 9, kind of thing. Not really. I always thought I was an 8.5. But come to find out, your girl has a very white foot. Okay. So a standard woman's foot is a B. I'm a double E.
Oh.
So very wide. And I was like, oh man, I got a wide foot. And I'm like, I feel like I have no arches. He's like, no, you actually have high arches. I'm like, what? I'm a dainty ballerina with my double E foot. So I had to end up getting like inserts because my arch was so high for additional support. So I'm just like, what is happening right now? I'm becoming an athlete.
You're taking care of your feet.
Majorly.
And you're becoming an athlete.
I'm becoming an athlete instantly because he put some shoes on me and I started walking around and I had like pep in my step.
Yeah, you're bouncing, I bet.
Yes. I was like, why do these feel like I'm walking on air?
Because you're finally wearing shoes that have support versus
I know.
Converse,
It was
which
shocking.
have zero.
I know. He actually said that the Converse probably helped me because for me, it spreads. My foot could just spread in it. I don't know.
Okay.
It's debatable, but I
Can we go back to you thought you were an 8.5 but what are you?
So my mom always told me that I was the same size shoe as her growing up. And so she was 8.5. So I always bought an 8.5. And then I would sometimes have a hard time finding the 8.5. I'm like, oh, I'll just go up a half a size to a 9. And then I was hanging out with some students and my feet are basically like, they're not slipping out of the shoes, but a little bit slipping out of the shoes, even when fully tied. And they're like, what is going on with your shoes?
Yeah.
And then I went and figured out that I was buying a size 8.5 or 9, and really I'm a 7.5 or an 8. So
good to know.
A full shoe size too big. I did not realize you're not supposed to have an inch, in front of your toe. I just was like, these are cute shoes and they fit. This is my size. And the sad thing is it wasn't until like my late 20s or early 30s that I really started to like, oh, okay, problematic.
Okay, so I'm confused though. So you did know that you weren't an 8.5? Like last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just surprised. I knew that I was like more like an 8, but I always have to go up because I'm a wide width.
Oh,
and so I usually
I
have to go up. So so anyway, long story not short at all. The guy brings out like the Hokas. Is that what they call it?
Yes. And I love mine.
Okay. So he brings them out and I'm like, okay. He brings out Hokas and he brings out New Balance.
The first time you see those, you're like, what is happening?
I'm like, this
those
is
are
not
ugly.
Cute. Well, and
because they're so thick. The sole is so thick. And it's like, what is that?
Well, especially because he opens them up and they're just black on white. I'm like, do we not have any fun colors? He's like, not in your width. And I'm like, sir, discrimination.
Yeah.
But so I got
width discrimination.
With discrimination for sure. So I tried those on and I tried some New Balance shoes on and I was like, okay. And I don't know who he thought he was talking to. And I was like, okay, I'm just trying to decide, and he's like, oh, or you could get both. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to decide on. He's like, oh. I'm like, yeah. You made an assumption that I was going to buy one pair. No, biatch, I'm buying 2. And so I didn't even really look at prices or anything. And so we go to check out.
Did you have some sticker shock? Those are not cheap.
I knew that they would be expensive, but I ended up buying 2 pairs of shoes, a pair of insoles, socks,
okay. You've got a
the
bill.
whole thing. He's
got a bill.
He's like, oh, it's $400 today. I'm like, that's right. I'm an athlete.
You better be now.
And yeah, so
when are we going for a walk?
I'm ready now. Like I can actually go.
You have no excuses.
I have no excuses, and I can actually go and not hurt myself because the last few times I have walked, like I was wearing an old pair of shoes, and I came home and it felt like my arches were bruised. It was so painful.
They probably were.
I'm guessing, yes. My Nikes were like punching at them as I was walking down the street. So
that's terrible. You're gonna have a whole new experience now.
Yes, and I'm now
your legs or your butt's gonna be sore, not your feet.
Exactly. Well, and I just want to be now. I'm gonna enter my speed, lady phase. The lady that walks around the neighborhood in all her like running gear.
Are you gonna be that lady?
She's not gonna run. She's just speed walking. That's gonna be me.
I agree with you. I'm gonna be that lady too.
With a pocket full of treats for the local animals. That's me, guys. New era.
I really like that.
All right. What else you got? I know you have one more.
I just have one more, and it's a recipe.
Ooh.
Because I made this a couple of times, and every time I make it, I'm like, why don't I make this more often? Because it's so easy and it's delicious. It's Korean beef.
Oh yeah,
Korean beef.
Bulgogi?
No, it's just ground beef, but Korean flavored.
Okay.
Don't look at me like that. And now that I'm saying, I don't know, you're like a Korean food snob. But Korean flavored
Korean
beef,
barbecue flavored?
I don't know. You make it from scratch. There's a whole recipe. It's like soy sauce and sugar, and
it's like bulgogi seasoning.
So good.
Yeah.
And it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fast. And it's really good over rice with some sliced green onions on top.
Yeah.
And my kids all like it and eat it. And with a side salad, you got a whole meal. I mean, I think it's great. I need to put it in my regular rotation.
I'm glad you've discovered it.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So definitely, if you have discovered something recently, you should definitely hit us up on our social media at the Geriatric Millennials. And we're on the TikTok now. And we're on the Facebook.
Thanks to Beth.
We are becoming rising TikTok stars.
I think we've got a handful of followers.
Yes, we have 4. So, we're really just up there in the influencing world. So watch out, everyone. We're coming for your sponsorship.
It's only a matter of time, Beth.
Seriously. But we really do. We want to know what you are into right now. If you're reading any great books, if you have experienced a great TV show, beauty products, whatever it is, give us a heads up.
Recipes.
We're always down for
By
recipes.
the way, can I just say, I love when my husband cooks. However, he always chooses a very complicated recipe. I don't want any of those.
Oh, okay.
I do not want to do that.
Okay.
I want an easy, simple, basic, fast, delicious recipe.
Fair.
Yep.
Good times.
Hey, if you're enjoying this podcast and would like to support our show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost, so check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.